Mansi is on mute now. Huh?
Yeah. Just yeah, please go on.
Virenji,
Yes, Anjali and Viren, yeah, you start.
Yeah. Your life is decided here and now. The courage to be happy, huh?
do you need further explanation?
No, hold on. This is getting confusing. First, you tell me that the world is simple place, that it seems complicated only because of me, and that my subjective view is making it that way. And also that life seems complicated just because I make it complicated. All of which is what makes it difficult for me to live happily. Then you say that one should take the stance of teleology as opposed to prudent ideology, that one must not search for cause in one's past and should deny trauma. You say that people like to achieve some goal or other instead of being creatures who are driven by causes in their past, right?
Yes.
Furthermore, as the major premise of teleology, you say that people can change, that people are always selecting their own lifestyle.
That is correct.
So I am unable to change because I myself keep repeatedly making the decision not to change. I don't have enough courage to choose a new lifestyle. In other words, I do not have enough courage to be happy, and that's why I am unhappy. Have I got anything wrong?
No, you haven't.
Okay. In that case, my question is, what are the real measures I should take? What do I need to do to change my life? You haven't explained all that yet.
You are right. What you should do now is make a decision to stop your current lifestyle. For instance, earlier you said, if only I could be someone like Y, I would be happy. As long as you live that way in the realm of the possibility of, if only such and such were the case, you will never be able to change. Because saying, if only I could be like Y, is an excuse to yourself for not changing.
An excuse not to change.
Yes, I have a young friend who dreams of becoming a novelist, but he never seems to be able to complete his work. According to him, his job keeps him too busy and he can never find enough time to write novels. And that's why he can't complete work and enter it for writing awards. But is that the real reason? No. It's actually that he wants to leave the possibility of I can do it if I try open by not committing to anything. He doesn't want to expose his work to criticism, and he certainly doesn't want to face the reality that he might produce an inferior piece of writing and face rejection. He wants to live inside the realm of possibilities where he can say that he could do it if only he had time, or that he could write if he just had the proper environment, and that he really does have the talent for it. In another 5 or 10 years, he will probably start using other excuses like, I am not young anymore, or I have got a family to think about now.
I can relate all too well to how he must feel.
He should just enter his writing for an award, and if he gets rejected, so be it. If he did, he might grow or discover that he should pursue something different. Either way, he would be able to move on. That is why changing your current lifestyle is about. Sorry, that is what changing your current lifestyle is about. He won't get anywhere by not submitting anything.
But maybe his dream will be settled.
Well, I wonder. Having simple tasks, things that should be done, while continually coming up with various reasons why one can't do them sounds like a hard way to live, doesn't it? So, in the case of my friend who dreams of becoming a novelist, it is clearly the I or the self that is making life complicated and too difficult to live happily.
But that's harsh. Your philosophy is too tough.
Indeed, it is strong medicine.
Strong medicine. Yes, I agree.
But if you change your lifestyle, the way of giving meaning to the word and yourself, then both your way of interacting with the word and your behavior will have to change as well. Do not forget this point. One will have to change. You, just as you are, have to choose your lifestyle. It might seem hard, but it is really quite simple.
According to you, there is no such thing as trauma, and environment doesn't matter either. It's all just baggage, and my unhappiness is my own fault, right? I'm starting to feel I'm being criticized for everything I have ever been done.
No, you are not being criticized. Rather, as Adler's teleology tells us, no matter what has occurred in your life up to this point, it should have no bearing at all on how you live from now on. That you, living in here and now, are the one who determines your own life.
My life is determined at this exact point.
Yes, because the past does not exist.
All right. Well, I don't agree with your theories 100%. There are many points I'm not convinced about and that I would argue against. At the same time, your theories are worth further consideration, and I'm definitely interested in learning more about Adlerian psychology. I think I have had enough for tonight, but I hope you won't mind if I come again next week. If I don't take a break, I think my head might bust.
I'm sure you need some time on your own to think things over. I'm always here, so you can visit whenever you like. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Let's talk again.
Great. One last thing, if I may. Our discussion today was long and got pretty intense, and I guess I spoke rather rudely. For that, I would like to apologize.
Don't worry about it. You should read Plato's dialogues. The conduct and language of the disciples of Socrates are surprisingly loose. That's the way a dialogue is supposed to be.
The second
Just a
night.
minute. Shall we just take a look at the questions that are there before the second night? Do you want me to just take you all there and just give it a thought?
Yes, that would be good,
Yeah,
na?
Okay, yeah. Just let me see what. Okay, just someone tell me the page of the question. The first night. Topics and questions for discussion. The first night, denied trauma. There are these three reflection that we are supposed to do on this. So that will be a task, maybe a good weekend task for us. Because I don't think we'll be finishing second night today. Like the first is like the youth. Do you feel determined from the outset to reject the philosopher's theories? Why might that be? Second, everyone wishes they could change. The youth says, do you agree? If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? And third is, what equipment do you possess? Assess how successfully, on a scale of from 1 to 10, you are using your equipment to bring happiness to your life in this moment. Okay, so these are the three questions. Uh, do we want to take them up for discussion when we discuss, or do we want to keep it like for a self work on our own?
we can do like this. Like for this three questions separately, you post in the group, and the people are interested can write the answer on paper and post in group.
Yeah, that hardly happens, but yes, we can give it a try. Yeah, but no problem. Yeah, so yeah, we will have actually to reflect on that, na? And maybe some people may not want to share because it may be personal, but that's fine. Like as far as we do that work, it's good. Like if we do that.
We
Yeah.
can
So
do it in the end, Mansi. We can keep it open for discussion in the end. What's the end?
yeah, we'll start with the second night, and let's see where we stop today. So we will be most probably taking break for the Ganpati, 2 days at least, 1 or 2 days at least. So I hope it's okay with everyone. So
Yes,
then
yes.
in that maybe
Okay.
the book also might get extended after that. So I'm hoping like we'll finish second night. If it's as big as first night, then it will take another 2 3 days. Now, so it will. I hope we finish that before that, and we'll go on a break. Let's see how it goes. The distance, the length might change, but let's see. Can Now this is a new topic that is getting started with the second night, I guess. Okay, now the third night just was there. I'll just it's a different topics getting started. There are 5 nights in total. The first was about change and all that. Yeah, this is second, I think, is about relationships. Okay, yeah. You guys want to continue? Would like to continue,
Yes.
no?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Go on, go on.
The second line. All problems are interpersonal, relationship problems. The young man was as good as his word. Exactly 1 week later, he returned to the philosopher's study. Truth be told, he felt the urge to rush back there only 2 or 3 days after his first visit. He had turned things over in his mind very carefully, and his doubt had turned to certainty. In short, teleology, the attributing of the purpose of a given phenomenon rather than its cause, was a sophistry, and the existence of trauma was beyond question. People cannot simply forget the past, and neither can they become free from it. Today, the young man decided he would thoroughly dismantle this eccentric philosopher's theory and settle matters once and for all.
Hmm.
Why you dislike yourself? So, after last time, I calmed myself down, focused, and thought things over. And yet, I have got to say, I still can't agree with your theories.
Oh, what do you find questionable about them?
Well, for instance, the other day I admitted that I dislike myself. No matter what I do, I can't find anything but shortcomings. And I can see no reason why I would start liking myself. But of course, I still want to. You explain everything as having to do with goals. But what kind of goal could I have there? I mean, what kind of advantage could there be in my not liking myself? I can't imagine there would be a single thing to gain from it.
I see. You feel that you don't have any strong points, that you have got nothing but shortcomings. Whatever the facts might be, that's how you feel. In other words, your self esteem is extremely low. So the questions here then, and why do you feel so wretched? And why do you view yourself with such low esteem?
Because that's a fact. I really don't have any strong points.
You are wrong. You notice only your shortcomings because you have resolved to not start liking yourself. In order to not like yourself, you don't see your strong points and focus only on your shortcomings. First, understand this point.
I have resolved to not start liking myself.
That's right. To you, not liking yourself is a virtue.
Why? What for?
Perhaps this is something you should think about yourself. What sort of shortcomings do you think you have?
I'm sure you have already noticed. First of all, there is my personality. I don't have any self confidence, and I'm always pessimistic about everything. And I guess I'm too self conscious because I worry about what other people see, and then I live with a constant distrust of other people. I can never act naturally. There is always something theatrical about what I say and do. And it's not just my personality. There is nothing to like about my face or my body either.
When you go about listing your shortcomings like that, what kind of mood does it put you in?
Wow, that's nasty. An unpleasant mood naturally. I'm sure that no one would want to get involved with a guy as wow as me. If there were anyone this wretched and bothersome in my vicinity, I would keep my distance too.
I see. Well, that settles it then.
What do you mean?
It might be hard to understand from your own example, so I'll use another. I used this study for simple counseling sessions. It must have been quite a few years ago, but there was a female student who came by. She sat right where you are sitting now, in the same chair. Well, her concern was her fear of blushing. She told me that she was always turning red whenever she was out in public, and that she would do anything to rid herself of this. So I asked her, "Well, if you can cure it, what will you want to do then?" And she said that there was a man she wanted. She secretly had feelings for him but wasn't ready to divulge them. Once her fear of blushing was cured, she had confessed her desire to be with him.
Hmm. All right. It sounds like the typical thing a female student would seek counseling for. In order for her to confess her feelings for him, first she had to cure her blushing problem.
But is that really the whole case? I have a different opinion. Why did she get this fear of blushing? And why hadn't it gotten better? Because she needed that symptom of blushing.
What are you saying exactly? He was asking you to cure it, wasn't she?
What do you think was the scariest thing to her? The thing she wanted to avoid most of all? It was that the man would reject her, of course. The fact that her unrequited love would negate everything for her, the very existence and possibility of I. This aspect of deeply this aspect is deeply present in adolescent unrequited love. But as long as she has a fear of blushing, she can go on thinking, I can't be with him because I have this fear of blushing. It could end without her ever working up the courage to confess her feelings to him, and she could convince herself that he would reject her anyway. And finally, she can live in the possibility that if only my fear of blushing had gotten better, I could have.
Okay. So she fabricated that fear of blushing as an excuse for her own inability to confess her feelings, or maybe as a kind of insurance for when he rejected her.
Yes, you could put it that way.
Okay, that is an interesting interpretation. But if that were really the case, wouldn't it be impossible to do anything to help her? Since she simultaneously needs that fear of blushing and is suffering because of it, there would be no end to her troubles.
Well, this is what I told her. Fear of blushing is easy to cure. She asked, Really? I went on, But I will not cure it. She pressed me. Why? I explained, Look, it's thanks to your fear of blushing that you can accept your dissatisfaction with yourself and the world around you, and with a life that isn't going well. It's thanks to your fear of blushing and it's caused by it. She asked, How could it be? I went on, If I did cure it and nothing in your situation changed at all, what would you do? You would probably come here again and say, Give me back my fear of blushing. And that would be beyond my abilities.
Hmm.
Her story certainly isn't unusual. Students preparing for their exams think if I pass, life will be rosy. Company workers think if I get transferred, everything will go well. But even when those wishes are fulfilled, in many cases, nothing about their situations changes at all.
Indeed.
When a client shows up requesting a cure from fear of blushing, the counselor must not cure the symptoms. Then recovery is likely to be even more difficult. That is the Adlerian psychology way of thinking about this kind of thing.
So, what specifically do you do then? Do you ask what they are worried about and then just leave it be?
She didn't have confidence in herself. She was very afraid that things being what they were, he would reject her even if she did confess to him. And if that happened, she would lose even more confidence and get hurt. That's why she created a symptom of the fear of blushing. I can do is to get the person first to accept myself now, and then, regardless of the outcome, have the courage to step forward. In Adlerian psychology, this kind of approach is called encouragement.
Encouragement.
Yes, I'll explain systematically when it consists of once our discussion has progressed a little further. We are not at that stage yet.
That works for me. In the meantime, I will keep the word encouragement in mind. So, whatever happened to her,
Apparently, she had the chance to join a group of friends and spend time with the man, and in the end, it was he who confessed his desire to be with her. Of course, she never dropped by this study again after that. I don't know what became of her fear of blushing, but she probably didn't need it any longer.
yes, she clearly didn't have any use for it anymore.
That's right. Now, keeping this student story in mind, let's think about your problems. You say that at present you notice only your shortcomings, and it's unlikely that you'll ever come to like yourself. And then you said, I am sure that no one would want to get involved with a guy as rapt as me. I am sure you understand this already. Why do you dislike yourself? Why do you focus only on your shortcomings? And why have you decided to not start liking yourself? It's because you are overly afraid of being disliked by other people and getting hurt in your interpersonal relationships.
What do you mean by that?
Just like the young woman with the fear of blushing, who was afraid of being rejected by the man, you are afraid of being negated by other people. You are afraid of being treated despairingly, being refused, and sustaining deep mental wounds. You think that instead of getting entangled in such situations, it would be better if you just didn't have relations with anyone in the first place. In other words, your goal is not get hurt in your relationships with other people.
Hmm.
Now, how can that goal be realized? The answer is easy. Just find your shortcomings, start disliking yourself, and become someone who doesn't enter into interpersonal relationships. That way, if you can shut yourself into your own shell, you won't have to interact with anyone, and you will even have a justification ready whenever other people snub you. That's that it's because of your shortcomings that you get snubbed, and if things weren't this way, you too could be loved.
Well, you have really put me in my place now.
Don't be evasive. Being the way I am with all these shortcomings is for you a previous virtue. In other words, something that's to your benefit.
Ouch, that hurts. What a sadist. You are diabolical. Okay, yes, it's true. I'm afraid. I don't want to get hurt in interpersonal relationship. I'm terrified of being snubbed for who I am. It's hard to admit it, but you are right.
Admitting is a good attitude, but don't forget, it's basically impossible to not get hurt in your relations with other people. When you enter into interpersonal relationships, it is inevitable that to a greater or lesser extent you will get hurt and you will hurt someone too. Adler says to get rid of one's problem, all one can do is live in the universe all alone. But one can't do such a thing.
Okay.
Anyone?
Suman and Deepa, just a minute. Suman and Deepa have written their names So, do one of you want to go as youth and one as a philosopher, or let Viren continue? Viren, are you like comfortable continuing also? That's also one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Suman,
I can continue as a youth.
yeah.
Or we can just go by two ladies doing the reading. That is
That
also
is
okay
also
because
fine with me.
yeah, yeah.
That
So
is
you
also
both
fine.
want to like one can take up Deepa, you might take up youth and Suman philosopher, something like that. Like you want to go that way?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm fine with anything.
Yeah, I think let's do that because I think this you but there won't be more time to read for other like person otherwise. So yeah, Deepa, which roles are you taking up? You both decide among yourself.
Yeah,
Like who?
Suman, what do you want to do?
You please take any.
You want
I
to
am
take
okay
up the
with
youth
both. Yeah,
or philosopher?
I am okay with both.
So,
You may start with any. Yeah.
okay. I'll because youth is written first. I'll go
Okay.
with that. So the chapter title is All Problems Are Interpersonal Relationship Problems. I'm reading the youth. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to just let that one slip by? To get rid of one's problem, all one can do is live in the universe all alone? What do you mean by that? If you lived all alone, wouldn't you be horribly lonely?
Oh, but being alone. Oh, but being alone is not what makes you feel lonely. Loneliness is having other people and society and community around you and having a deep sense of being excluded from them. To feel lonely, we need other people. That is to say, it is only in social contexts that a person becomes an individual.
If you were really lonely, that is, if you existed completely alone in the universe, you wouldn't be an individual and you wouldn't feel lonely either.
I suppose the very concept of loneliness would not even come up. You would not need language, and there would be no use for logic or common sense either. But such a thing is impossible. Even if you lived on an uninhabited island, you would think about someone far across the ocean even if you spend your nights alone. Your strain, you strain your ears to hear the sound of someone's breath. As long as there is someone out there somewhere, you will be haunted by loneliness.
But then you could just rephrase that as if one could live in the universe all alone, one's problems would go away, wouldn't you? Couldn't
In,
you?
the- in theory, yes, as Adler's goes so far as to assert all problems are interpersonal relationship problems.
Can you say that again?
We can repeat it as many times as you like. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. This is a concept that runs to the very root of Adlerian psychology. If all interpersonal relationships were gone from this world, which is to say, if one were alone in the universe and all other people were gone, all manner of problems would disappear.
That's a lie. It's nothing more than academic sophistry.
Of course, we cannot do without interpersonal relationships. A human being's existence, in its very essence, assumes the existence of other human beings. Living completely separate from others is, in principle, impossible. As you are indicating, the premise, if one could live all alone in the universe, is unsound.
That's not the issue I'm talking about. Sure, interpersonal relationships are probably a big problem. That much I acknowledge. But to say that everything comes down to interpersonal relationship problems, now that's really an extreme position. What about the worry of being cut off from interpersonal relationships, the kind of problems that an individual agonizes over as an individual, problems directed to oneself? Do you deny all that?
There is no such thing as worry that is completely defined by the individual. So called internal worry does not exist. Whatever the worry that may arise, the shadows of other people are always present.
But still, you're a philosopher. Human beings have loftier, greater problems than things like interpersonal relationships. What is happiness? What is freedom? And what is the meaning of life? Aren't these the themes that philosophers have been investigating ever since the ancient Greeks? And you're saying, so what? Interpersonal relationships are everything? It seems kind of pedestrian to me. It's hard to believe that a philosopher would say such things.
Well, then it seems there is a need to explain things a bit more concretely.
Yes, please do. If you're going to tell me that you're a philosopher, then you've got to really explain things, or else this makes no sense.
You were so afraid of interpersonal relationships that you came to dislike yourself. You have avoided interpersonal relationships by disliking yourself. These assertions shook the youth to his very core. The words had an undeniable truth that seemed to pierce his heart. Even so, he had to find a clear rebuttal to the statement that all the problems that people experience are interpersonal relationship problems. Adler was trivializing people's issues. The problems I am suffering from are not so mundane.
Okay, so just a minute. We can stop here because it's 7:43, or we can continue for a while. So whatever everyone is okay with, I'm okay with it. I'll just see which how much the part is. Okay, this part is a little smaller, like 1 or 2 pages, and
Maybe we
then
can continue.
yeah, yeah. I'm just seeing how big the second night is. I don't think we can anyways finish it today. Uh, Competition. Oh, there are many topics. Like yeah, at least 3, 4 more. Um, so yeah, we'll go for like another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll stop wherever it comes by that time. Because it's a weekend, and we won't be reading on weekends, so it will be a big break, or like comparatively. So yeah, okay,
Shall
this
we
much.
continue?
One more day, and we would have finished the second night. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not the case. So yeah, I'll just go back to the page. Can someone help me with the page? Feeling, na something was.
Yeah, feelings of inferiority.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we covered this.
Page 53, Mansi.
Feelings of inferiority are subjective assumptions.
Okay, got it. Yeah, come. Yeah, start. Yeah, go on.
Let's look at interpersonal relationships from a slightly different perspective. Are you familiar with the term feeling of inferiority?
What a silly question. Are you surely, as you can surely tell from our discussion up to now, I'm just a huge blob of feelings of inferiority.
What are those feelings specifically?
Well, for instance, if I see something in a newspaper about a person around my age, someone who's really successful, I'm always overcome with these feelings of inferiority. If someone else who's lived the same amount of time I have is so successful, then what on earth am I doing with myself? Or when I see a friend who seems happy before I even feel like celebrating with him. I'm filled with envy and frustration. Of course, this pimple covered face doesn't help matters, and I've got strong feelings of inferiority when it comes to my education and occupation. And then that is my income and social standing. I guess I'm just completely riddled with feelings of inferiority.
I see. Incidentally, Adler is thought to be the first to use the term feeling of inferiority in the kind of context in which it is spoken of today.
Huh? I didn't know that.
In Adler's native German, the word is Minderwertigkeitsgefühl, which means a feeling, Gefühl, of having less minder worth. So, feeling of inferiority has to do with one's value judgment of oneself.
Value judgment?
It is the feeling that one has no worth or that one is worth only so much.
Ah, that's a feeling I know well. That's me in a nutshell. Not a day goes by without me tormenting myself that there is no point in being alive.
Well, then let's have a look at my own feelings of inferiority. When you first met me, what was your impression in terms of physical characteristics?
Well,
There is no
well,
need to hold back. There is no need to hold back. Be direct.
all right. I guess you are smaller than I have imagined.
Thank you. I am 61 inches tall. Adler was apparently around the same height. There was a time until I was right around your age, actually, when I was concerned about my height. I was sure that things would be different if I were of average height, 8 or even just 4 inches taller, as if a more enjoyable life were waiting for me. I talked to a friend about it when I was having these feelings, and he said it was a bunch of nonsense and simply dismissed it.
That's horrible. Some friend.
And then he said, what would you do if you got taller? You know, you have got a gift for getting people to relax. With a man who is big and strong, it's true. It does seem he can end up intimidating people just because of his size. With someone small like me, on the other hand, people let go of their wariness. So it made me realize that having a small build was a desirable thing, both to me and to those around me. In other words, there was a transformation of values. I am not worried about my height anymore.
Okay, but that's
Wait until I am finished. The important thing here is that my height of 61 inches was not inferior.
it wasn't inferior.
It was not, in fact, lacking in or lesser than something. Sure, my 61 inches is less than the average height and an objectively measured number. At first glance, one might think it inferior, but the issue is really what sort of meaning I attribute to that height, what sort of value I give it.
What does that mean?
My feelings about my height were all subjective feelings of inferiority, which arose entirely through my comparing myself to others. That is to say, in my interpersonal relationships. Because if there had not been anyone with whom to compare myself, I would not have had any occasion to think I was short. Right now, you too are suffering from various feelings of inferiority. But please understand that what you are feeling is not an objective inferiority, but a subjective feeling of inferiority. Even with an issue like height, it is all reduced to its subjectivity.
In other words, the feelings of inferiority we are suffering from are subjective interpretations rather than objective facts.
Exactly. Seeing it from my friend's point of view, that I get people to relax or that I don't intimidate them. Such aspects can become strong points. Of course, this is a subjective interpretation. You could even say it is an arbitrary assumption. However, there is one good thing about subjectivity. It allows you to make your own choice. Precisely because I am leaving it to subjectivity, the choice to view my height as either an advantage or disadvantage is left open to me.
The argument that you can choose a new lifestyle.
That's right. We cannot alter objective facts, but subjective interpretations can be altered as much as one likes. And we are inhabitants of a subjective world. We talked about this at the very beginning, right?
Yes, the well water that's 60 degrees.
Now, remember the German word for a feeling of inferiority. This is Minderwertig Gefühl. As I mentioned a moment ago, feeling of inferiority is a term that has to do with one's value judgment of oneself. So, what on earth could this value be? Okay, take diamonds for instance, which are traded at a high value or currency. We find particular values for these things and say that 1 carat is this much, that prices are such and such. But if you change your point of view, a diamond is nothing but a little stone.
Well, intellectually, it is.
In other words, value is something that is based on a social context. The value given to a $1 bill is not an objectively attributed value, though that might be a common sense approach. If one considers its actual cost as printed material, the value is nowhere near a dollar. If I were the only person in this world and no one else existed, I'd probably be putting those $1 bills in my fireplace in wintertime. Maybe I would be using them to blow my nose. Following exactly the same logic, there should have been no reason at all for me to worry about my height.
If you were the only person in this world and no one else existed,
Yes, the problem of value in the end brings us back to interpersonal relationships again.
so this connects to what you were saying about all problems being interpersonal relationship problems.
Yes, that's correct.
So I guess we can stop now.
I think, yeah, let's stop here. It's a new topic that is getting started, and we'll start from here from Monday. So, yeah, so far, so good.
Wait.
So, yeah, we can open up for discussion, and everyone is free to share their perspectives, opinions, any takeaways, anything that you would want to share or highlight today. So, please open up. Please go on.
So, yeah, I will say first because I need to leave it at. First of all, the while reading, so I was just exercising my listening skill because you have seen that there is very much less to say from the youth perspective and too much to listen from the philosophers. So sometimes what was happening, like while reading, like philosopher was saying, and I thought in between I need to answer this. In between I need to question this. But to hold for the listening is the part I was exercising, and that's helped very well. So that is the first thing. And second was about the interpersonal relationship. So yes, it's all about how you are thinking about the what other people will think of you. And that's the problem really we are facing currently. So that is a statement like log log kya kahega, and that becomes how we feel for ourselves. And the height example the author has said related to like if someone will explain you that there is no harm or there is no issue with the height at all, or height is just a resembles anything you are pursuing. Suppose if you are a colored people and everyone around you is a white people, if you feel inferior and someone told you that there is no issue if you are colored, it's some different one. There is no harm for that. So this is the way like we should treat people differently. So it's not about the self. I thought it's not about the self only. So we need to behave with the people so that they do not feel inferior at all. So that's it from my side.
Yeah, wonderful reflection of that reading part. Like, yeah, very true, right? Like when we are on in the position of reader and a listener, it's a different experience altogether. Yeah, very nicely observed and articulated. So yeah, and I do agree. I love that line that just followed. Like, if I was the only person in the world with the $1 bill, I buy the things he would be doing with that. I do agree with that, definitely. So much of us, so much of our comparisons or whatever we think of comes from the social context. So it's so true. I do agree with that. I love that part. And yes, maybe, yeah. So many things we would not be even bothered about if we were the only person in the world, because these are all social beliefs or comparisons that make us think that. And one point that just highlighted for like that just caught my attention, or overall the reading of today, it was reminding me of the NLP concept of man is a meaning making machine. So it's like we make meaning out of things. So that is what just I just got remembered of. So yeah, anyone else, please share. Go
So
on.
before that, Mansi, I want to just mention one point also. So,
Yes, yes.
this is the same. Like it's happened with me recently. Recently means in just 30 minutes ago, right?
Oh,
So when I was reading, I am in bus. Bus is full with people. I was thinking about like what the people will say that I'm speaking loudly and what they will think like what he is doing. While reading, I feel like क्या फर्क पड़ता है? I'm not doing any bad thing, and it's good for me and whoever will listen, it's good for them also. So I continued.
oh wow. That was such a live example. You always have these live examples, Viren, and I love your reflective ability, like the way you just connect with things and reflect back so instantly with real life experiences. They are so connecting. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Seriously,
it's
yeah, I
not
was feeling
it's
like
a
that.
gift, I would say, because not everyone is able to do that so easily. So you're reading and you're connecting those dots so immediately. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing. Very true, right? Such a true example.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyone else? Anything you would want to add, share, anything? Please feel free.
I would
Good
like to say, oh,
word.
okay, thank you, Nishi. So, see what like people don't want to really change, or maybe they don't want to come out of their comfort zone. And for that, they try to find multiple excuses. And this is what he talked about, like finding out the shortcomings or getting inferiority complex. So after a period of time when we are not changing, or when we are not trying to change, bring any change in our life, in our lifestyle, we start getting into that feeling that we are either of the loneliness or of the complex. So I feel that that fear of rejection or the fear of failure, what examples he had quoted also, na, that girl who wanted to propose a boy, but then she had that fear that she might get rejected, so that blushing thing. And in fact, one more example was there, the novelist who was not writing the novel because there was again a failure of failure, that his novel might not get that appreciation. So all those excuses in our regular life, normal life also, we see regularly, see students not studying, or not being punctual to something, finding excuses, either the traffic jam is there or other reasons. So these are all lame excuses, I would say, because we don't want to change, we don't want to put in efforts, and we don't want to like, we are in a comfort zone, we want easy life, or we don't want to come out of it, and simply we start blaming others, and it is all subjective thing, that multiple times the philosopher has said that this is all subjective. It is not the society that is pushing us, it is our own thought process that we are getting into that lifestyle, or in that fear, where we don't want to come out of it. So this is the thing, that excuses really matter, and try not to give excuses if you really want to change. If we really want to change, we should not give any sort of excuses. That was the point. Interesting. And yes, dollar bill, $1 bill, yes, it is waste. When this demonetization happened, all that money, it got that proper, we were like trying to use that bills now, all those money, na, currencies, how we can, either if it was not exchange, what can we do, what it was of no value at all. So that value is also given by the society. It is all objective. It is not the value what others give. It is not what it is actually holding. A diamond, for a poor person who cannot afford it, he would say it is just a stone and it really doesn't matter. But to show off, diamond is a big thing. The size of diamond also, they might be comparing, and they might be even on in that level also, you may find people who are having inferiority complex, or who are comparing. So there is no such thing. That comparison only gives us that fear, comparison only gives us that inferiority complex, comparison only makes us feel low. So these are the things, like we can really come out of those things. It's easy, it's quite easy, it's all subjective, and it could be managed well. That's all.
Yes, yes, very true, very well said. Yeah. Deepa, I think you want to say something?
Yeah. Uh, it's really very beautiful, well written book, and the articulation by Anjali and Viren was awesome. Hats off to you guys. So beautifully, you have captured the essence of what we have read today and related it with your personal experiences. Hats off. Beautiful. Thank you, Anjali. That was wonderful. So now I don't have anything different to add to what you people have shared. I just wanted to share my yesterday evening's experience when I was having a session with my students. We were reading various books, and due to shortage of time, I take up only tiny books. So we read The Blue Umbrella. So the context, makes anything precious valuable, or it is invaluable. So the blue umbrella, the little girl in that hilly region, she finds it, very attractive and beautiful, and she trades her talisman, something which is supposed to protect her from the jungle animals or the evil spirits. She trades it so that she can have the blue umbrella. And once she has it, the entire village envies her and everyone wants to possess it. So The blue umbrella for the urban people, for the city dwellers, no, is something, they can just give it away. They don't really find much treasure in it. But for this little girl, it's extremely valuable, extremely important, and the most beautiful thing. And her perception, that this is the most beautiful thing and precious thing, that aura spreads all over the village, in that tiny village, and everyone envies her, wants her. And that is what happens, that Ruskin Bond in that tiny incident, that is how we perceive it. Like someone has something, and we think that is the most valuable thing. As we grow older, that is no longer that valuable, like having that pencil box or that geometry box or one pretty hairband or something. As we grow older, we outgrow that thing. So that is how we perceive things. Something which is valuable at one point might not be valuable at another point. So is our abilities. Like some of my students, they're hesitant to talk because they're worried about the criticism. But when they go home or at a later point, they realize that I should have spoken. Why was I holding back? I was worried about the outcome, the criticism, the judgment given by my friends, and how will they look at me? I made a fool of myself. Instead, when I motivate them and I encourage them, it's okay. Whatever you do is fantastic, fine. You just go ahead. And even if what you're saying is nonsense, out of that nonsense is something meaningful is going to turn up. That nonsense is only one person, or at that moment's perception, understanding. But later it can change. Whatever is mocked at later becomes valuable. Okay, so that is how we should counsel ourselves when we are doing something. We shouldn't wait for a feedback on someone, and based on that feedback, we shouldn't judge ourselves. We should just take things as they are at that moment. We shouldn't worry how we are going to be looked at, and just continue. And the people around my entire class is also supposed to encourage. If anyone stammers, they are having a slip of tongue, they switch from English to some other language, it's fine, it's okay. They have a few seconds pause, it's okay, you just continue. So I expect my students to help the person who's on that stage and performing be okay. But the world might not be that kind to regulate that thing. So we have to regulate ourselves from the eyes which are being discriminating, which are judgmental. We can be away from that. Just like the dollar bill, or the any currency has a value only during certain period. Later, it loses its value due to demonetization or due to change of government or change in time. So everything has its value only at a certain point. Later it changes, and people change, everything changes, things evolve. So the sense of inferiority is our perception, it is not actually the world's perception. And if we feel we are good, then the world will think it is good. If we believe we are bad, then the world also will believe it's bad. Just like the blue umbrella was precious for that girl, and she spread that aura. If she thought it is of no value, everyone else also would have thought as a no valuable thing. So it's okay, it's fine, whatever we perceive. But one thing is, we should always strive to evolve, to overcome our limitations. The more we try to overcome our limitations and our worst enemy, fear, we can succeed in anything and everything. And again, loneliness is also because we are part of a crowd. If we are not in that crowd, and we don't care about what anyone is telling, and even if anyone tells, we take it in a positive attitude. The criticism or any remark, which should not, negative things should not go to our heart, and the positive should not go into our head. Otherwise it will become an ego issue. And if the negative goes into our heart, it can totally stop us from our abilities. So we shouldn't allow that to happen. And preconceived notion, like the novelist not writing because of a preconceived notion that he will be rejected, the girl having a preconceived notion that she'll be rejected by the boy she's in love or she admires. So a preconceived notion is, again, it's all in our mind. Our mind says more than the reality. So it's okay to go for firsthand and experience all the things which are happening around us, and things might not be really as bad as they seem. And even if we are alone in the universe or we are in the group of people, it's fine. Now, whatever we have to do it as long as we are not doing something which is going to harm anyone or us. So we should try to live in a world, create a world which is live and let live. So I think I went beyond the boundaries of whatever we were reading today. So I just wanted to share my yesterday's experience and my thoughts related to our reading today. Thank you.
That was very beautiful. Such an apt example, so relevant to what we just read today, like the currency example. So yeah, very well. And like, I don't know what is it with today, but everyone is putting their points through so beautifully. So thank you, Deepa. It was very valuable. Your share was very nice. Thank you for sharing that. And it
And
does.
just one more small thing I want to add. Many of my students, they refuse to take an exam. The CA exam, it requires multiple attempts. So they refuse to take it because they are not well prepared. I tell them that you take it, it doesn't matter. Each time you take it, you're becoming more proficient. Each failure actually takes you to the next level of success. So it's okay if you fail, but take it multiple times. And the perception that CA, CS, all these exams, out of 100 people, only 5, 6, or maybe max 10 people clear it. But that is not the reality. The reality is 99% clear it if they are willing to be persistent and dedicated. So the end result is seen only from one exam, but you're allowed to take multiple attempts, endless attempts. So as long as we are persistent, actually everyone clears it. So that is not the reality. So reality is much bigger and different than what the world might say or what we perceive. So just we should be focused and just don't worry about the result. Just go ahead. Karmakal fal ki asha mat kar. Again, yeah. Thank you.
Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So true, so well said. I'm glad we are recording this. So yeah. Pranav, you want to add something, say something? Please go on.
Yeah, good morning to all. I somewhat remembered when Deepa was telling about the fragments. The other day, I was attending some yoga session wherein the guru was telling about the prayers and shreyas. Prayers is all about the knowledge attained from the inner heart, the wisdom, and all that. And prayers is the knowledge or the cravings attained from the materialistic world. So he said, how would you balance that? I immediately told an answer that you have to self reflect. Then he said, wow. Then I told him very honestly that though I know how to self reflect also, uh, at times I get irritated when I go into a social circle because few of the people would stoop the other person to a different level wherein, he again starts thinking and comparing his abilities or whatever with the other person. So I asked him, like, after being in this path also, I do get such kind of thoughts. And I would get disturbed for about a week or so. Then he told me a very beautiful answer beyond yoga also. You should do a certain sadhana. Then you will have that authentic courage to face all that. So it would take time, but then later you will also realize that proving to others or comparing with others is of no point, and you can never do that. He told me very honestly that you can never do that, comparing and proving to the other people. Rather, whatever inner wisdom you have, that fragments would be spread around without no doubt. So that is a real fact in life. So just try to work on it, he told. I remembered all these points listening to you all. So it's not that easy to come out of that comfort zone. But then if you really start working on your own self, like reflecting and journaling and all that, you will get a lot of hints to work out and, to come out of the comfort zone. That's what I have learned very previously, maybe 3-4 days back. So just felt like sharing. Thank you all.
Thank you for sharing that, because like, I feel that's how we connect, right? Like dot by dot, like everyone shares something, and then one person, one word becomes like a keyword for us to remember something. Because now that Pranavi shared about prayers, I remembered, we just watched this movie called Bruce Almighty. So if anyone has watched it, I just watched it yesterday with my family, and there was this wonderful message from the movie about miracles, like what are real miracles, and so it was a beautiful movie. So now I'm like reflecting and connecting back to it. It's like a mind map, I feel. It's like a virtual mind map that gets created as we just discuss and speak together one by one. So yeah, so for me, like the core mess, just to share now that I'm speaking about it. So I don't know if it is, I'm not still able to connect it with the book right now, but just to share, I would say go watch that movie. It's very much fun. It's a comedy movie by Jim Carrey, so it's interesting. And the thing is, like, this one guy who just sleeps about his life and everything, about how unlucky he is and all of that, and he just keeps criticizing God. And then one day God gives him this opportunity of having all his powers for a few days, like for a week or more, like, and then what he does with those powers. So the movie is all about that. So the core message of the movie at the end is basically that he realizes that God makes him understand that miracles, like whatever he does with the powers earlier, like just separating the soup in two parts, or any small silly things that anyone could do with the powers you have. So God says these are all magic tricks. These are not miracles. Miracles are basically many things that he gives a beautiful example, if I can just remember it right. So he says a mom who is doing two jobs, a single mother who is doing two jobs and still finding time to take her son to a saucer match is a miracle. So he gives him examples, like real life examples, but small things. He says a child who's struggling with drug abuse, wanting to come out of it and choosing education instead is a miracle. So he helps him understand life, and he helps him, like, your job is to create such miracles. And he says, and there was this beautiful line which said that everyone is capable of creating their own miracles. They don't need me for that. So you just have to make them aware of that. So that was the core message of the movie, and it was very beautiful. So I don't know, like, just because I remembered, I'm sharing it here. Uh, because of Pranavi's prayer, mentioning about prayer, and yeah. So it was a little out of context from the book, but just felt like sharing. So yeah, anything from the book, anything anyone want to add before we leave? We are going a little over time today, but since it's a weekend break, that's going to be from tomorrow to 2 days. We won't be reading. We'll get back again on Monday, and maybe we'll have to take a break on Wednesday, Thursday, maybe because of Ganpati and all those things going on. At least I will be completely busy. If anyone of you is willing to lead in that duration, and if others are not having anything, since we are from different regions, and you would want to join and continue with the book, please go ahead. I will be more than happy if we want to do that. I can just catch up whatever I miss. Uh, so I'm okay with that. But otherwise, we will have to take a break of 2 days later in the next week. So we'll continue the book after that. I don't think we're going to anyways finish it before that. So it's okay. So yeah, Manish, you want to share something? Please go on.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody sharing beautiful concepts around the book and related things. What I want to add is what I recently learned and find it very useful is that, before we go to sleep, we should do a beautiful visualization of a picture image. Like, okay, if I become successful, what I would be like, right? like I'm spending time, beautiful time with my friends, my family, living in a dream house, or becoming a good teacher, or whatever it is, whatever your dream goal is, right? So before I go to sleep, I do a visualization of what I want to become. Okay, so what that does is, that visualization is, when I go to sleep, my subconscious mind is still working, right? So this through this visualization, that image of that picture, like how I want to see myself when I'm successful in life, right? So what will happen is, there are certain areas of the brain which get activated using this visualization, and what will happen is that area of the brain, it will do its own processing, and which will improve your focus, your energy in that area, your self confidence, and so many related things which you need to make that goal happen. So I'm practicing this since last 15 days, and I'm finding it very useful. So whatever I do, I'm able to take actions. Nothing seems bothering, and I'm getting more confidence, more focus, more aligned with that goal of life. So I found this technique very useful. It's just like, visualize a beautiful picture of the kind of, like, how you will live when you are successful. Like, what is your line of success? Having spending a good time with family, friends, or whatever, becoming a good teacher, or whatever profession we are in. So I think this is a visualization is a very useful concept which I am practicing every day, right? So, and that is one thing. And one more thing, I'm practicing that. Yesterday I shared in the group, like, if I have to achieve a goal, what are the 3 steps I need to have? One thing, a clear goal, like what I really want. And second thing is how badly I want it, right? Because what happens is, when we are not writing the goal, we are not serious about it. And when we are writing the goal, and we are clearly mentioning how badly I want it, right? So that is second step. And step number three is what are you willing to do for that? You sacrifice, you go through some challenges, pain, or whatever it takes, you are ready for it. So when you have these things in your mind, basically, the same thing, it activates some area of your brain that will help you to gain the focus, gain the confidence, and that will align all the emotion, feelings, actions, and everything that which you need to have to take action. So these 3 steps on your vision board, a picture of your dream goal, the more often you see that before you go to sleep, I think it makes a very wonderful impact on your day-to-day performance. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That is little ahead of what we are reading. Yes, but thank you for that. That might help someone here. And yes, bringing back to the book now, like what I remember from after Manishji share is that basically, so they have asked us to reflect on those 3 questions, right? So we would be doing that. I would really insist everyone to please take out some time and reflect on that, journal it if possible. Even if you don't share it in the group, it's okay, or you can just share your insights or your reflections rather than sharing it completely if that is very personal to you. But at least share something that you did the exercise and how was your experience about it. That will be valuable because it will encourage others to do that too. I'll put the questions in the group after this after we finish today. And one more thing that just remind for me, it was a highlight. It was like a very good like what I would say, like pat on the, like you say that there is this tapli you say, right? Like it was like that for me, that those lines where he explained about those how we give excuses, like that girl's example, and how we just want to do so many things but we just keep on giving excuses. That part was alarming because it connected to some of the things I really want to do and I've been procrastinating with. So yes, that was one of my biggest takeaways. I would want to reflect on that. And yes, anyone else, anyone who has not shared would want to share. Ranjita, Suman, Rajesh, anything you would want to add before we leave? Otherwise, we can. Manish, you want to add something more?
Yeah, little, just one liner. One more thing, I read it some in good book was that, on the same line, if some thoughts are coming to you very often, that, okay, some important thing you want to achieve or anything in your life, if the thoughts are coming very often and they are more strong and they are connected to your emotions. So I feel that, they are the message from the divine. And you have to take that message as a message from the divine, and you have to accept it, that it is bound to happen. And we need to have that confidence in that message from the divine, and just focus on, if you find it very difficult or whatever you're finding, just focus on making small actions, small progress, and eventually you will find that all the obstacles will become the way, and you will come
Yes.
out of any obstacle. So I take it that as a message from the divine. So, and I just work on that. I think it helps me, and I think it should help everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else from the book? Yeah, Suman, you want to share something?
Yeah. All were wonderful sharings today. Yeah, though it has been covered earlier, but the highlight for me is today the message philosopher wants to give, that we need to change our perspective. We get stuck in our own mental images and pictures and judgments, the judgments that what others would say. Life is very simple. We need to work on the thing that the saying is there, सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. Yeah, that is the what I wanted to say. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Just one more tiny bit. If anyone has any perception, as Suman just said, it helps, not to feel hurt or to feel fear, as long as we see from their perspective, their point of view. A little bit of empathy works. If anyone has criticized or we fear criticism, we should try to take how other people see it from that point of view. Um, that helps. Sometimes misunderstandings happen because we see things only from our perception, the applaud or the criticism only from our perception, how they might have seen it, how they might have sensed it, heard it. Once we think about it, maybe we can overcome that feeling of shame or fear, because it's how they have seen it from their angle. So I just thought I should add that.
Yes, very wonderfully said, both of you. Like, loved it. Thank you for sharing that. Both Suman and Deepa. Suman just summarized it in one line very beautifully. So nice. Thank you. So yeah, anyone wants to add something more? Otherwise, we can call it a day today. We already are extended time, and sorry, I did start a little late today. So maybe that 10 minutes are extra because of that also. So yeah, we will start sharp from 7 from Monday onwards and continue with the book till whatever time possible, like whatever days possible. If anyone is willing to lead for 1 or 2 more days when I'm not there, we can continue with the book. Otherwise, we'll take a break for those days.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. We'll need more people, like maybe 1 or 2 more. So if there is someone to accompany you, we'll go ahead. Okay. Otherwise, we'll take a break. Let's see. Yeah. Uh, okay. No problem then. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a happy weekend, and do reflect on the questions so that we make the most of the learning and reading time that we have invested in this book. So do reflect on the questions, journal it, and I'll just share them in the book. I'll just share the screenshot from the page itself, so that will be easier for everyone, and page number. So just go back to it and just write it down, reflect on it from your personal life's perspective and your current situation. That will help you go deeper into it as we go further with the reading. So thank
And
you everyone. See you all. Happy weekend. Yes, yeah. I know.
I have one
Manu?
question. I would just, if you can do some little homework that, like we have read so many books this year, right? So if we can share our learning from the books in terms of the benefit we are getting through the learning from these books in actual
Yeah,
life, in profession or whatever. That's wonderful to share.
What
Yeah.
you want to do? You want to say that we can do a session like that at the
Yeah.
end after we finish this book, or right now also, na? You can share
No, maybe
those
just
in the group.
no. My suggestion is we can, like the person can just post on the group so that everybody can benefit from that. That's what I think. We don't need it to have a separate session. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
would say that.
yeah. Yes, we can do that. Maniji, let's start with you. Since you have suggested, you start posting, so that will inspire everyone else, and also mention others to share, so everyone can start following you. So let's
Because
do
what
that.
will happen no, if I have overcome some challenge, right, through some learning from the book, it can benefit others. That is the objective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's a great idea. Please start. Please share. You start from this weekend, and then we all will follow through. So you be the pioneer in that.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah,
Sure.
please do
Yeah.
that. Please do, and also mention others to share, so people
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
share. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you everyone. See you all. It was a wonderful uh session today, like wonderful reading and discussion. Thank you so much. Happy week.